You'll see things on social media that appears to be the most important thing that's going on outside. You step outside, you find out no one's reading Twitter. No one's actually referencing what's on Instagram except a funny video that they copy and paste and send to their friends or their moms or aunties. Content really isn't generally pushing a needle on a lot of subjects. The Jeffrey Epstein scenario, you would think that it's the biggest topic in the entire world right now. That couldn't be further from the truth. No one's really talking about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff in real life. I'm not denouncing anything with it, but I'm saying it's more so it's a Twitter rant. It's information that you typically see on Twitter. And when people do talk about it in real life, they'll mention it and then they keep it moving because why? People have bills and niggas ain't got time to really care about diving into this. They're just waiting on updates. I'm saying that to say this. You have a lot of people that never cared about getting this information released. I'm one of the journalists, Liz Crokin, and a lot of other people have constantly been posting about this Epstein stuff for years. For years. We are the same people that were deemed high risk, couldn't be on specific people TV shows because we covered this stuff. The same people that couldn't cover us, the same people that would gatekeep us are now trying to tell everyone that, oh, we need to attack President Trump to get this list. Donald Trump is the only administration to even acknowledge that the BS even exists in the first place. Joe Biden never spoke about the Epstein list. Joe Biden never helped the victims. Joe Biden never kicked Epstein out of anything. So let's start right there. It doesn't make sense to me why Trump has all of the hate when he is actually the first president to try to do something about this whole thing. Well, people might say, why can't he just drop the list? Why can't he just drop the list? There's a lot of underlying factors as to why that list isn't out right now. It doesn't mean it's not coming out. It doesn't mean that it's not coming out, but it simply means that he has to be able to be given his time to do this thing. You're talking about something that is a national security risk. And I was patient with the list. You never seen me being the one that's, oh, where's the list, Trump? Where's the list? I believe in him. I believe he's going to drop the list if he say that he's going to look into it and bring it out. I truly believe that. But I also believe, and I also know that 2020 election wasn't the most secure election all the time. Russian collusion was a hoax. The ghost of Kiev was a hoax. And a lot of these things were perpetrated by the FBI CIA. The same FBI CIA that had these files for 4 years. How am I to believe that Donald Trump was given the same files that Joe Biden was given? I don't think Trump believes that. I know Trump wouldn't believe that. So guess what they have to do? It has to be a validation process. They have to verify which names are authentic, which names were planted there to try to, blackmail individuals that have nothing to do with it, destroy Donald Trump allies, or even destroy Donald Trump's image himself with propaganda that's added in those lies. You got to remember that in the recent election, they did everything, and I mean everything they could to prevent Donald Trump from being president. Why is it such a stretch to sit here and say that maybe they manipulated the files that Donald Trump had his hands on? Nigga, it's not a stretch. It's reality. Why would I, a man that tried to pop Donald Trump's noggin, give him the opportunity to release the files that will destroy me and my buddies? I'm going to manipulate those files and I'm going to destroy them. I'm going to give him BS. It takes time for Donald Trump to get this information. Now, it doesn't absolve the absolute horrible optics that my dog has been displaying. I'm a Donald Trump purist for the most part. Been conservative since I was 6. I ride for Trump. I love Trump. Not switching on Trump. But the optics that my dog has been pushing has been straight horse shit. I can't believe that the GOAT said, if you're supporting this stuff and you want the Epstein stuff out, I don't want your support. Bro, that's your whole base. You're calling it a Democrat hoax. Like, dude, Trump, what the fuck? How are you calling this a Democrat hoax when we're the ones that's demanding these files? It's like, why would you give liberals the optical advantage on these things? You see, Donald Trump, he's a king of optics. He knows what looks good and what looks bad. So for him to just double down, triple down, quadruple even on this subject, it's just suspect. And no, I don't believe he's in the files. Why I don't? because Joe Biden had these files for 4 years. They did anything and everything they could to prevent Donald Trump from being president. They would have released those files or released information of Donald Trump in some way doing something that's illegal if they had it. That I know without a shadow of a doubt. But the main question is, what did they do to the files that Donald Trump actually got his hands on? That's the main problem. And why is Kash Patel and Dan Bongino coming out with these? I don't know what they're doing, y'all. Chat, I don't know what they're doing. It infuriates me to see Kash Patel getting cross-eyed talking about he killed himself. He obviously killed himself. Like, bro, what the fuck is this, bro? So it's like, it made me start to ponder, and it made me start reaching out to some people and get their opinions. And you know what? They told me that there's a good chance, let's say Epstein wasn't dead. If Epstein was alive, this entire scenario would change. And it would make sense that if he was, that it's not anything that anyone can just reveal about these files, because he could still be considered like a government asset. I feel like these files would be used as a government asset regardless. People are saying, oh, it implicates Israel, so he wouldn't do it. Trump has stomped on Israel plenty of times this year. Plenty of times. This wouldn't be the first. He showed them many times that he is the boss. He is in fact, president of the United States and the president of the world for the most part. He kneels for nobody. So I'm just so completely lost as to why they're pushing out the worst optics of all time. President Trump could easily tell people that the files are manipulated, but he's intentionally giving bad optics. He's intentionally eliciting a bad response. And I'm not reaching when I say it's intentional. You don't become president of the United States without understanding optics. Shout out to the first time chat. One Rush, appreciate you for stopping in. You don't just wake up and be, oh, let me disrespect all of my reporters because that's going to be a winning strategy. Bro, that's not what the fuck Trump would do. It doesn't make sense to me. He's too intelligent, and let me glaze him a bit. He's too intelligent. He's too successful. He's too intelligent. He's too successful to make a mistake as simple as disrespecting your supporters. So it leads me to ponder, why would Donald Trump blatantly disrespect people that's asking for truth on Epstein? Why is he creating this divide? How is this bigger? What's the bigger picture? And I believe what he's trying to do, and I think from what I'm seeing, that Trump has gotten intel that he has a lot of snakes in his corner, and he's trying to make them reveal themselves. He's trying to make them reveal themselves. And times like these is how you find out. The same thing with the Iran thing, when people tried to attack him and say that we were in a war. Now even with the Epstein, he's trying to reveal these snakes, because what he's about to do in these next 3 years is going to be nothing short of amazing. Maybe Donald Trump knows what's going to truly happen, and what he's about to do is going to be so monumental that he has to ensure the people to his left and to his right, they with him no matter what. I know this might be a stretch, but why do I say this? Donald Trump has the same administration that brought us the Epstein folders. So it isn't like they're trying to hide it and not address it. These motherfuckers literally had a red carpet event with the Epstein binders, smiling as if they just left Disneyland and Universal Studios, dude. So my dude, they're not trying to hide shit. We can't say, oh, it's the cover up. It's a cover up. They haven't been covering shit up. This has been the most Epstein friendly administration of all time. It's his last term. I like what you said, Eagle. It's his last term. He might be temporarily covering things up. I don't believe he's temporarily covering things up. I think it's his last term, and he's getting prepared to reign justice. In order to reign justice, he has to ensure that the people to his left and to his right are with him no matter what. Because like I said, I think it's going to get ugly. I think it's going to get ugly. And President Trump, he understands that. He needs to know who is truly loyal to him. I think this is much bigger than politics. I do believe this is a national security risk. And I do believe the American public have to be given prep time to be given information like this. Someone might say, why did they do the binder? It's a psychological evaluation of the American people to see how they would react when they came out with the binders. Because if it was really the true files, whatever that sample size from what they gained from the American people and how they responded, that told them how to move forward. You got to understand, they test things out before they give it out to the masses. The same way that new technologies are tested in major cities like Miami, New York and LA before they given out to smaller areas like Augusta, Georgia, or Selma, Alabama. You see, they're testing the stuff out on American people. I truly believe that binder scenario was just a test to see how people reacted. And from Donald Trump's data, he's seeing that many people didn't care as much as he thought they did. People on Twitter, yes. People in the real world, not really. My dad, and I want anyone that's watching this to ask themselves, how many of your parents actually are in tune with what's going on? How many people really understand about this Epstein scenario, actually knows about the folders, know about the alleged cover up? See, Donald Trump has the real data beyond social media. A lot of our realities are created by the social media we spend the most time on. If you have a president that has access to all data, he's going to view life a little bit differently than us. So when he's saying no one cares about Epstein, he's talking about the whole world. He's talking about on a regional level. He's talking about when he compares all social medias and looking up keywords. He has the data to say so. When he says he doesn't want no one's support, I don't really understand the optics. But like I said, my theory is that he's trying to identify those he don't want to trust. Because like I said, he hasn't been wrong. It's one thing if I'm backing someone that's constantly made horrible mistakes like Biden. Bro, Trump is literally undefeated. He has made great decisions time and time again. It's not delusional to think that, okay, he might not be making a mistake yet the hell again. Anytime someone has doubted Trump, they've come out to look like the idiot. And I don't want to be that idiot. I don't never want to be that idiot on the other side when Trump, all he needed was trust. But the optics aren't good. The optics aren't good. He's had better optics, in my opinion. President Trump has had better optics. To just tell people that genuinely care about what's happening with these kids. And there's a lot of people that's faking it. Because like I said, when I came in, I was being gatekept. A lot of people didn't want me on their shows. And there's no hate. I understand it. You got to please advertisers too. Please don't think it's no hate. I understand the game. But for them to come out now that it's acceptable and they're trying to drill President Trump, it's crazy and it's disingenuous. It's disingenuous. You're doing shit when it's safe. It's the same people now that's acting like they hate Israel and shit. It's like you're doing it when it's safe. It's lame. You're doing things when it's safe. Is it really that radical? Are you really standing up? There's some people that just want to be a part of the next new thing. And hating on Donald Trump is the next new thing right now. They try to hate on him, claiming that we were in a war that we never were in. Why should I take you niggas seriously if you get paid to make me mad? You know, I be on X and I be furious sometimes. And they be like, why am I doing this to myself? They get paid for me being mad. I'm the idiot. I'm the content. I'm the dollar. They get paid to make you mad. They get paid to make you worried. So it's kind of hard to really create a reality around the content that we are receiving because people get paid to make us feel a certain type of way. Now, James O'Keefe came out and said, right here, did it take it away? He said, if you have committed horrible crimes, sex crimes with Epstein, you are in the clear. If you manufacture a vaccine, you say injuries, you are in the clear. If you are an American journalist, you will be raided by the FBI and spill millions enriching lawyers and see this. This is America. So shout out to James O'Keefe. He's a legend. But something I have to add is that if you look at James O'Keefe posts, it's personal because his studios was raided. He was targeted by the FBI and he felt like they spent more time on him than the Epstein people. So it's people that have personal issues. These are people that are at very, very high levels. Not disrespecting James O'Keefe. I always have gone to every James O'Keefe party. Always will go to every James O'Keefe party. I'm just simply saying that some people, they are attacking the administration. They are attacking how the Epstein thing is being handled, but they have personal attachment to it. It's not like they're a general American person that's just fed up. It's not Ma and Pa that's fed up. It's somebody that has relationships at the very high levels that have been rightfully so, been done wrong. He's been done wrong. He has a right to be mad about that. Now, I don't know if we should necessarily pin that right and attach it to Donald Trump releasing the Epstein files. James O'Keefe getting raided was a bad, we all can agree with that. But it doesn't have jack shit to do with Epstein files. There's different departments that touch these things. There's different scenarios at hand. But It's a lot of personal issues. I'm hearing things about certain influencers that won a position on the Trump campaign. They didn't get it. They're bitter. They're talking shit about Trump. I'm warning the American people to be careful when you listen to some people online, because a lot of these people were simply just denied a position that they wanted. And this is them lashing out. Be careful when you base your reality on people at the top level. These people have got to the top for a reason. You get to 1 million followers for a reason, because why? You know how to talk to people at the bare minimum. You know how to give people what they want. It's very dangerous when you're talking to people that know how to give people what they want. Even me. For the most part, I have gotten to the point I can somewhat know what people want, what content they want to see, what is entertaining. People like that are extremely manipulative. I'm telling you, I have manipulative friends. You have to be very careful. These people have been burned, and they're speaking on their own personal experiences and linking it to Epstein. Why? Because when you link it to Epstein, they can simply say, "Oh, you don't want to defend kids, do you, buddy?" It's a fucking disingenuous Democrat type position. And guys, I know I'm against children being locked underground and the shit that was under Epstein tennis court and the occult Moloch rituals. I'm against all that. But when people do it disingenuous in a disingenuous way, that's where I start to have complaints. It's a lot of disingenuous shit going on. It said most people know that it's not a hoax. Solar Eagle, I agree. I don't know what the hell President Trump was talking about saying it's a hoax. And a Democrat hoax at that. 1 second. My mic audio, it should be back up. Is my mic good, guys? Solar Eagle, can you still hear me? It's good now. Thank you. Yeah. So most people, they already know. Yeah, it's not a hoax. I don't know what President Trump said that. I think Trump, his wording is so bad. We gotta forgive President Trump. He is a grandpa. Uh, I think he was pretty much saying like the backlash is a hoax or whatnot. I don't know if he's saying it fouls himself. I know he typed that verbatim, but it's just so far from reality, you know, especially when he addressed it himself. Now, I can't say the Epstein client list is a hoax, because Jeffrey Epstein never wrote down on a piece of paper or typed in anywhere that I sell kids to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. No, he there's no list. You don't even have that. Like, that would be dumb optics for him to put down the list of all of his clients, the most rich and powerful men in the world and women, and you just put them on a client list that is easily available for anyone to see and prosecute those that's on that list. I don't think he would make it that easy, and I don't think people that rich and famous would allow themselves to be on a list that easy. So I don't think an actual client list exists. I think there was many different ways to find out how he has clients from witness statements. I think a lot of it involves just witness statements and nothing more, nothing less than that. I don't actually genuinely believe there's a full-on client list. So he could say the list is a Democrat hoax. That could be somewhat true, because the client list itself never existed. Now, we call it a client list because it's a lot easier for us to talk about it. It's a lot easier to talk about a client list than just saying the witness statements and the documentations of the jet bills, and you got the black book. You would have to. It's a compilation of all those documents to find out who is a client. But it's not like a list that just goes from 1 to 80 of my top 10 clients, my best buddies, me. Like, that's not how that would genuinely work. So the media has portrayed it in a way that we're going to get a list, that shows its clients. That will never happen, because that just don't exist. Human traffic organizations not going to keep a list of their most powerful clients. That makes it easy to prosecute even drug traffickers. You want to have those things as separated as possible. And you said you're wondering, Solar Eagle, and guys, if you're watching, appreciate anyone that's coming in and giving the comments to keep the chat going and keeping it strong. Solar Eagle, you wondering what Elon most likely discovered that made him jump ship? I don't think Elon really discovered anything specifically, dog. Just to be honest, I just think that Elon Musk was just crashing out, and he was mad because he wasn't getting his way, and he got a bruise. He got a hiccup. He got a boozy, and that will piss off any man. And there was a lot of things that happened. Elon allegedly got touched, not in a good way, not like Elmo, at the White House, and that led to him, being pretty disappointed with the Trump administration and lashing out against them. But yet again, it's another personal problem. Another personal problem that's taking their anger that truly is directed to President Trump, and they're trying to create something that it's not, trying to make it seem like it's over the Epstein things. This is just people that are mad within the Trump administration from bad scenarios or bad experiences, and trying to make it seem like they're trying to protect children. It's disingenuous, man. I don't know what this is talking about. Best viewers on steamboat.com. Remove the space. What is this talking about? I'm not trying to get no bot views, bro. If I got like 10 viewers is good with me, man. I'm good with that. I'd rather have 10 real viewers, because people can tell when you bot, because your chat gonna be dead as hell. So it's just, it's pointless. It looks kind of weird. Let me go. Trump, you're not my supporter if you believe Epstein. And you got these people that's reaction. They just going to react, and they're going to try to yeah, retard finder. He's cool. I mean, who cares? It's a joke account. So I mean, he's going to do that. It's supposed to make you laugh. Not everything's so serious. This is when you know the shit is so disingenuous. When you got fuck niggas like Gavin Newsom out here taking shots at President Trump about this damn Epstein shit. Nigga, you said nothing when Joe Biden was president, but now it matters. Now you care. That's what I'm saying. How can the American people fall for this? They don't give a fuck about the Epstein list. They never did. It's just about having some type of leverage to make President Trump look bad and make them look good. It's completely disingenuous. You're talking about kids that were kidnapped. You're talking about kids that were used. There were beds in the back of the Epstein jet and etc. But they're using the fact that the general public don't know what's going on to their advantage. And Gavin Newsom to attack President Trump. Nigga, Epstein spent many years out in California. He doesn't talk about that. He doesn't talk about any of the shit that goes on within his own state. But it's all about Donald Trump and his Epstein thing now. Why have Democrats been quiet for almost a decade? Because you know why? People like Governor Gavin Newsom knows for a fact his president, Joe Biden, erased the fucking files. That's why you could be so confident to talk this shit, because you know that Donald Trump doesn't have what he can release. And if Donald Trump doesn't have the files, you can talk shit about Donald Trump to release the files. I.e., Elon Musk could say, Donald Trump's in the list. How could you prove that if Donald Trump can never release the list, if Donald Trump says the list has been manipulated? You can't release that list. You can't disprove that, and they know that. These people are playing a very, very dirty game. Don't think it's odd for Democrats to have intel that list been removed. You got to remember, Elon Musk, he tried to put up one of his best friends at NASA, which Donald Trump said himself was a raging liberal. These people, if you're tapped into the liberal elites, it's not a stretch to say that you could find out if the Epstein list was efficiently deleted. So liberals could genuinely appear to be the heroes and the fighters and the savers of children. It is making us conservatives look like we're pedo sympathizers. The same way they made us look racist is the same way they're going to try to make us look like pedos. Dude, this is where we're at. You got to understand, this is fifth generational warfare. They're playing with your minds. It's a battle for our minds, man. These people, they are manipulating the truth. They understand the files that we're looking for don't exist. But they can make Trump look bad in the process for demanding that the files get released if they're not there. Donald Trump can't just go out and say, well, they don't release. That destroys faith in the government. That destroys faith in him. That destroys so much shit. That it genuinely does nothing for us for him to sit out and say that the files were removed. That does nothing for us. Does nothing for us. So people got to start using their common sense to think like not everything is black and white, bro. If President Trump was able to just release these files instantly, these files will be out. It's not rocket science. He got into the White House. He wasn't able to touch what he thought he wanted to touch. Doesn't mean it's not coming. But you have a lot of people that were already fading, falling off, Candace Owens, that have to attack Donald Trump just to stay relevant. It's crazy. Like, you don't need this. You're bigger than that. But there's no content. You got to understand, these are individuals that really wanted Kamala Harris to win. Some of our greatest patriots wanted Kamala Harris to win because it gives you content. Think about this. There are people that can't exist without you being mad, without you being worried. These are people that are uncreative. So you need drama. You need complaints. If Donald Trump is doing a good job, if you don't have a story, nigga, they'll make one. So who's behind the Epstein files? President Trump is. Not Pam Bondi. Not no Dan Bongino, Cash Patel. President Trump is. I'm not going to sit here and just put all this shit on Pam Bondi, but fuck Pam too. At the same point, my caveat to that is, you don't understand why he can't drop the list. He said he wanted to do it. Listen, he ain't have to. The dude didn't have to talk about Epstein. He got shot in the head, for God's sakes, and he kept talking about Epstein after that. He had no need to. He had it in the bag. He already knew he was going to win. He didn't need that as a campaign promise, and it's never been a campaign promise. But yet he talked about it and he addressed it. That means he wholeheartedly wants to release that list. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Oh, man. Let's keep going. What Matt Walsh got to say.
Supporters. He decided that in the last 2 weeks. So you never said that before. So the idea that we as conservatives are obligated to just adopt that perspective out of the blue is madness. It's also not possible, by the way. Even if I wanted to just decide that I don't care about this anymore, it doesn't work that way. I can't. I can't just, you can't say to me, well, you shouldn't care about this. Okay, well, then I don't. Well, never mind. Even if I wanted to obey that directive, I just can't. I care about the issue. I've cared about it for the last 5-6 years. I've cared about it the whole time. I still do. But I'm not interested in it.
He can't even look at the camera while talking this horse shit. Matt, shout out to Matt Walsh, but you don't give a fuck about no Epstein shit.
Obeying that directive because I'm an American. Like, I'm an American. I can think for myself. And if you're a person in position of power, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to criticize you if you do something I don't like. I don't care what party you're in. But the other thing, too, is that the Epstein scandal, and this is what has to be, you have to understand, is that the Epstein scandal is not happening in a vacuum. Okay? We have not seen any high-profile or powerful people held accountable for their crimes. No one's even been fired, let alone arrested, for allowing an assassin to almost kill Trump last year. Trump was elected in 2016 partly on a promise to lock her up. You know, we all recall that. So when do we start locking people up?
And it's so easy to criticize when you're Matt Walsh. It's so easy, bro. This dude, like, bro, it's so easy when you're Matt Walsh just to criticize. Because, bro, you're not the president of the United fucking States. It's not easy to lock up a bitch like Hillary Clinton. When he does this, you got to remember, Donald Trump is the most hated dude in the world at the flip of a dime. This nigga literally he just saved us from a war. He just saved India and Pakistan from a war. He's bringing down gas prices. He's creating peace deals with China. He's doing everything that he said he was going to do, and even making leeway with Russia and Ukraine. And we all know how hard that is. He's doing what he can. But to sit here and trying to get him to do the impossible. Of course he wanted to lock up Hillary Clinton. But he can't. He can't. It's going to make him look like a dictator. It's going to make him look like all the things that they claim that he is. Donald Trump is an optical president. He understands what looks good and what doesn't. And it doesn't just make him look bad. He's thinking about the conservatives after him. But it's so easy just to criticize President Trump and say, why didn't you do this? Why don't you do that? It's something that he's actually trying to. He's trying to do it different. You got a dude that came into politics and changed the entire system. And that's not enough. People just want more and more and more. He's already done enough the first term that he ain't got to do shit this one if he ain't want to be honest. But it's disingenuous. You know why? Because Donald Trump is on the way out and people are showing their true colors. And it's disingenuous. I fucking hate these corny ass, lame ass niggas that sit here and be having sugar babies on the side, acting like they Christian for the camera and criticize President Trump as if he's supposed to be fucking perfect when you know you are a flawed human being and a lame. Like, dude. The hate is disingenuous. Trump has done more than enough to earn our respect. He's done more than enough for us to be patient. Why would we believe that he's lying to us? Why would we believe he's not going to give us justice as if he doesn't? Oh, lock her up, lock her up. The fact that you have to go all the way back to Donald Trump saying he wants to lock up Hillary Clinton, all the way back then, out of all the times that's done happened, that means that he must have done a lot of good. Because if you have to point back to that far in the past to something that he couldn't complete, what the fuck does it matter at this point? It's so old. He's done so much right. But you see, that's how you manipulate the general audience into thinking and hyper-focusing on the faults instead of the gains that he gave us as a country. I'm not going to talk shit about Trump to go viral. I even lost viewers here already because I'm not going to just do that to go viral. Yes, it's more boring to defend President Trump. So be it. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And you got stuff like Stephen King. These people are playing 5D chess. I'm sorry. Him saying the Epstein client list is real, so is the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. You got to understand, Stephen King understand that people know we think he's on the list. He's talked shit about Trump his whole entire Twitter history, right? So why would he go out here and support Trump on this? Because it doesn't look good for Trump. Democrats are playing the long game. It's optics. It's optics. It is optics. Everyone knows that King is one of the people that's allegedly into that type of shit. He's using it to his advantage. He doesn't give a fuck because at the end of the day, when he logs off, he's Stephen King. It's all about the optics. Man, we are in a war. This is 5th generational war. It's a war of the minds. It's a war of the minds. I agree with Tim Burchett. Anyone, is found guilty of the crime should be hung. And now they're saying Epstein was a hoax. They're not saying he's a hoax. I'm talking about the list was a hoax. So like I said, you got a lot of people that's disingenuous and they'll go out here and make it what they want it to be, but it doesn't mean that's what Trump said. And this is funny. But there is no list specifically. Trump isn't always best with his words. But we all know that. That's why we love him. So it is what it is, man. I knew everyone was going to be talking about the Shane Gillis stuff. All right. Yeah, I don't think Epstein has anything on Trump because this is why I say, and shout out to Jake Shields, why would he have anything on Trump if they could have released the files if Joe Biden had it for 4 years? It's very odd. They could have just released them. What do you have? Break the house up. Hold on. That they would take the high road and release all the names? Democrats are disingenuous as a motherfucker. Why would Democrats, dude, release all of the names attached to Donald Trump? Except Donald Trump. They would only release Donald Trump's name and tell you to fuck off if you ask for more names. They would say, well, we don't have enough complicit evidence for everyone else, but through the raids and etc., we can pin this on Trump. They had nothing. If his name was linked to Epstein, we would have seen it already. There's a reason why Democrat media isn't really pushing this. Find it anywhere. Find me on New York Times anywhere it's on the front page. You won't find it on the front page of any mainstream media source because it isn't the top subject. There's a reason Democrats aren't touching on it because they know they have nothing. I'm telling you, the Democrats at the top know there's no list. There's none of this information because it's already been scrubbed. They're not even going to touch on it. They know it's bullshit. They know that we don't know. They're taking advantage of that in some places. You see influencers, etc., taking advantage of it. But those at the top already know there's no list to be had. It's gone. A lot of the information will be gone. And that's unfortunate. Doesn't mean it's not going to get exposed. No, it doesn't mean that. But it would take time. It will take time. Attorney Pam Bondi app from her DOJ, the daughter James Comey per Political. She was responsible for prosecuting Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So you see stuff like this that's coming down. So I do see that you have this coming in. And we'll see some changes from it. But like I said, it definitely would be Donald Trump that's behind it. But people are manipulating the truth. They're manipulating the story about all of this. I don't know what you think, chat. You think Trump on the Epstein list? Does anyone actually believe that Donald Trump, anyone in the chat right now, is on the Epstein list? Because I just don't see it. And you got people like Alex Jones. You know, I've been on InfoWars like 3 times or so. I love Alex team. I've always loved Alex Jones. Now I have to say the word I hate the most. But I do believe he have personal problems with Trump. I don't think it's really that genuine that he's going out and attacking Trump. I think there was, how he acting to me. Maybe he wanted a position in President Trump's administration. I don't know. I know people should say, maybe you should call Alex and find out. Listen, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's completely genuine that he's just disappointed in President Trump and trying to get the truth away from these globalists, if you may. I think a lot of people have a lot of personal attachment to this. And we're not going to find out until the fat lady has already sung. No, we're not going to find out early. We're going to find out when all this is pretty much over. But I think we will get that list. I think Trump will bring us the transparency that we're looking for. There's no reason why we wouldn't. Let's go. And this is the thing. I get so fucking pissed. I'm going to do this rant and then I'm done. Because I'm going to have to stop before I get myself banned. It pisses me off when some of the top conservatives completely ignore that regardless of what's right or wrong, we are political creators. You have voters that's watching your shit. Why the fuck would you be making all these posts that make President Trump and our party look bad if we have midterms coming up? Then when Democrats come and dominate the midterms and Trump can't do jack shit because he loses the House, he loses the Senate, people will sit here with their fucking thumbs up their asses and say, we've lost our country, it's all lost. Well, shut the fuck up for once and let people do their job. Because you're sitting here, you're destroying trust in your own party, and you're going to sit here and look stupid when we lose it all. You got to reinforce trust in times like this. At the end of the day, you need to think like a politician. You're a political creator. You're not a creator that's making dumbass content. You're making content that actually changes this country if someone is dumb enough to listen to us. You need to start making the right choices. You need to start thinking about the shit that you post. You need to start thinking about the midterms. You need to start thinking about optics. You need to stop posting bad shit that hurts your party. It don't make sense when you have a big Republican post some shit that other people might deem racist. I'm not saying it might be racist, but the same can be said for Democrats because you have the opposing party that can then screenshot that and post it on their social medias and make everyone of your party look bad. Why are you sitting here constantly attacking the president? Why are you always people talking about the way this is being done, attacking them in the most blatantly disrespectful ways, and wonder why we get obliterated in the midterms? The midterms matter. Voters are paying attention right now of who to vote for. And when you got Democrats right now pressing hard on this Epstein thing, and we don't have no counter narratives versus that, we're pretty much saying, come whoop our asses. We have to fight back. We need to have counter narratives because the narrative right now is that Republicans defend pedophilia. And Republicans are right now fighting along with Democrats with this narrative. We're going to get our asses whooped in the midterms, and the real pedophiles will be in power, and kids will really be fucked this time. And I'm just so tired of us focused on the retweets, focused on the likes, focused on the views, but not focused on the country, focused on the votes. This shit is deeper than the internet. We need to be focused on the votes. Tired. Listen, hope you're enjoying the content. Not a short stream. This stream was actually just going to be a YouTube video, but I decided to make it a stream. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short because I'm getting frustrated. I'm about to start dropping names, and I don't like dropping names on people. But I did in 2023, but I've learned the bigger you get, the best is not to really just drop names because it creates such a beef. And then when I beef with people, you guys know, when I beef with people, now I got to expose their life. I got to expose the stuff they did as a kid. I got to expose their DUIs, their infidelity. Got to expose all of it. Like, you know, that's just what I do. And I go against somebody, I go hard. I don't like it to reach that point. I don't want to actually try to ruin someone's life, but if we beef, I'm going to try to ruin your life. I don't want to get to that point. It puts me in a very dark space. So I try not to name names so we don't have to take it there. Love you, Dustin, for coming in, man. You know, we're here every Tuesday. I mean, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But one thing I talked to my best friend Malachi, I'm gonna start doing, y'all, is just start pressing record. Press stream and just start making content throughout the day instead of having to really be on the schedule, just be on the lookout. I'm just going to start posting more and more throughout the day, more spontaneous, and actually take y'all into a day of my life. Like I said, I want to start streaming in person, bringing my camera and content with me, take you with me around Miami and things like that. And I give off my political sense of what's going on in the world around me and just my journey right now. You know, I just traded the Mustang for the C8 Corvette. I moved to Miami this year. This is all very new to me, so I like to bring y'all on with my journey, man. I want to be more open. On X, I was known as being like this mysterious person that doesn't really express himself and share his content. I want to invite you guys into my world, and we grow together. And thank you, Deeply Spacey. We're going to do more and more of this. So, yeah, man, more passion, more real me, just more. I know the ESPY, SP, I don't know, I think that's right. It's going on right now. So I need to get some content for that and post it all on X. Can't do it both. Well, I could do it both while I'm on here. But I don't want to make these streams more exciting until we have more and more people. Then I could actually start posting content on X while I'm streaming. But I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Probably catch you tomorrow. Definitely catch you on 305. Thanks for stopping in. Let's continue to grow this. Let's get to 50 live viewers next time. At least sometime very, very soon. Dustin, thank you. Much love from Canada. I love my Canadian people. I hope you have the time, a chance to come out to the U.S. If you come to Miami, let me know. I'm down here now. Let's make a movie. Let's make it happen. Thank you for breaking the narratives. Let's go, narrative breakers.